Hi, I'm Stephanie, the owner of Flours LLC, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade granola. Now that we're all home, and it's a pretty safe place to be these days, it's very simple to make your own homemade granola, and the good thing about it is you can make it however you like. Unlike most baking, which is really chemistry, granola, there is no wrong way to make it. It's really about what you like to add into your granola. So today I'm actually going to make almond coconut granola, but I'm going to add in a lot of nuts and other fruits, which you'll see, and you can make whatever you'd like in it. So to start with, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And this is, and I'm not selling any product, I'm not sponsoring any product, I'm just telling you what I use. This is unsweetened flaked coconut, which you can buy at, this happens to be Trader Joe's. The main thing is it is unsweetened, and you can buy it at any grocery store. So you want to take about half a cup, spread it out on a parchment lined jelly roll pan, and bake it toasted in the oven for approximately 5 to 7 minutes at 350 degrees. Okay, so once you're done toasting the coconut, you want to lower your oven temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So once the coconut's done, turn the oven down to 300 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to making the granola. And you want to take, now again, this is all a matter of preference. I'm using 8 tablespoons, which is 1 stick of unsalted butter. This happens to be Cabot, but you can use any brand that you buy in the grocery. And 1/2 a cup of honey. And there are many different kinds of honey. You can use any kind you like. And you're going to get a small saucepan, and you're going to just melt the honey and the butter together. Now, some people use oil. I happen to like butter. You can also add some coconut oil. But again, I'm using plain 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter and 1/2 a cup of honey. And I'm going to put it in a little saucepan, and I'm going to melt it together while I'm continuing to put together the rest of the ingredients. The next thing you want to do is, and I'm using this very large mixing bowl, which they're very inexpensive, and they come from restaurant, you can buy them in a restaurant supply store. I like it because it keeps everything in the bowl and not a mess all over your counter. So I'm going to start with approximately 3 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. These happen to be Quaker oats, but you can use any brand you like. Now, if you want to make gluten-free granola, and again, I'm not selling any product, I use Bob's Red Mill, which happens to be old-fashioned rolled oats, whole grain, and as you'll see, it's certified gluten-free. So again, if you want to make gluten-free granola, you need to start with gluten-free oats. This is not gluten-free. So I'm going to start with approximately 3 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. And I'm going to add approximately 1/3 a cup, and I say approximately because it can be whatever you want it to be. These are whole and unsalted sunflower seeds. These happen to be organic, but they don't have to be. The main thing is they're not toasted. They're raw sunflower seeds. So I'm going to add that in. I'm also going to add in, this is again about 1/3 a cup, and you can add any kind of nuts you want. Today I'm using pecans, which are chopped, pistachio nuts, because we love a lot of nuts in our granola, and we happen to have all these in the house, so I'm lucky today. This is again about 1/3 a cup. Now I'm going to add in some cashews, And let's just check on the coconut. And this is how it looks when it is just toasted. So you want it lightly brown, pretty even color all over. And we're just going to put that to the side for the moment because we don't need it right now. Next, you're going to take, this is about a cup of plain, non-toasted, non-salted, plain almonds. And what you want to do is just chop them. Now again, you can throw this into a Cuisinart if that's easier, but I actually like when you do it by hand because you get a slightly uneven texture. And I kind of like the chunkiness with some bigger pieces of almonds. So you want to throw this into the mix. And you're just going to mix it around. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And again, if you really like cinnamon, you can add more than a half a teaspoon. I think a half a teaspoon is about right, but you can certainly add as much as you'd like. I'm also going to add just a little dash of nutmeg. And I'm going to add, again, about a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, which just adds a little, to balance the sweet, you add a little salt. Okay, so now I'm going to mix this all together. Okay, so now, just so you can see the color, I have my melted butter with the honey, and I am just going to pour it on top of the oats and the nuts. And you just want to mix it up so that everything gets a little coating of the honey with the melted butter. And you'll see everything is pretty, you want it to be evenly coated so that everything has some slight coating, which it looks now pretty good. I think you can see, there's no, everything is coated. So now you're going to take your parchment lined jelly roll pans and you're going to evenly spread this mixture onto the pans. Now I'm using 2 pans, and if you use very large pans like I am, you could probably get away with using 1, but I like to really spread it out. And now you're going to put your granola into the oven and you're going to bake it for approximately 25 minutes. You will, first of all, you start to smell it because it's going to smell amazing. It's just going to be toasted and nutty and cinnamon, and it's going to smell great. And it will start to get slightly brown, and you'll get little clumps forming. That's when you know it's done, and you can take it out of the oven. Now that it's been about 25 minutes, and you'll notice the smell, and you want to check the granola. And I should say that if you're using 2 different sheets, that while it's baking, you want to rotate the sheets just like you do with any baking. So I'm going to take my finished granola, which I have to say smells unbelievably good, and I'm just going to lift it off the parchment paper and put it back into my clean bowl while it's still warm. And now I'm going to add in, this is uncrystallized ginger. You can use crystallized ginger. I happen to like the uncrystallized because it's a little bit softer and it is a little bit easier in the granola. So I put about 1/3 cup again of uncrystallized granola. Uncrystallized ginger. This is about 1/3 cup of raisins. And you can use blonde or regular raisins, whichever is your preference. Apricots. Again, I finely chop them because that's how I like them in my granola. About 1/3 cup. This is actually a little more because I really like apricots. Dried apples. And again, they're just chopped pretty evenly. You can buy all of this dried fruit at Trader Joe's or any grocery store. Yesterday in our local grocery store, I saw a bag of dried fruit that was a combination of apples, apricots, pears, and peaches, which are all really good in granola. And the other thing you want to add in is the toasted coconut that you toasted at the very beginning, and you just want to throw that in as well. And obviously, you don't want to bake it with the rest of it because you already toasted. And I'm going to mix this all together. And while it's still warm, you're just going to blend in the dried fruit. And you don't want to bake it with the fruit because the fruit will get very dry. So you want to just break it up, the clumps. And there you go. And there is your finished granola. Now, it is getting to be the time when you're going to start thinking about gifts. And homemade granola makes a wonderful gift. We package it in mason jars, which you can buy you can order them online. Your local hardware store sells mason jars. You can put really beautiful ribbons and tags, and this makes such a nice gift to give to someone. Of course, this is one of our tags, but you could make your own. We also do granola as favors for parties. This is a smaller little favor size that we use, and you could even do a smaller size, which we love in a wedding welcome to give your guests a little snack, or they can have it for breakfast. And this is 4 ounces, which fits in this little stand-up pouch, which happens to have a heart on both sides, which we love. And here's another size mason jar, which this again makes a terrific gift. So there you go. Happy granola making. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.